secrets of the social media through the social universe, and in many cases, the secrets of the universe itself. I am so fascinated by the personal story of Susan, who actually created the Strictly Western Trading Post. And I wanted to delve in a little bit more about her early origins and how you got to where you are today. I know that you were born overseas and had some good adventures and moved all the way through into medical fraud investigations. But tell us a little bit about that overall history and how, once again, when you decided to retire, we talked a little bit about that over the break, what prompted the beginning of the business. But tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I was a medical fraud investigator, but I also ran a team of physicians that we provided long-term disability for major cities and states, and basically felt that this was the most recession-proof business anybody could be in. And and I found out suddenly one day that my caseload went from 50, 60 cases a month down to 10, 5, 4. And it wasn't just a case of not being able to survive on it. I've always been such an active person and a workaholic that I couldn't sit around twiddling my thumbs waiting for the phone to ring.
Sure.
And that's when I came up with the idea of making a huge career change at a very late stage in my life.
Well, you've obviously done a great job and took to retail quite well, and you've had great customer service. I wanted to also give you a chance to kind of paint the picture of those, if somebody is driving down the freeway and how they get to your location, and then once they're in there, the different products that they're in the store. And for example, some people here, and we are in Arizona, so Western wear is something that's worn quite a bit. But even if you don't picture yourself as the person who listens to country Western music and wears Western clothing on a daily basis, country dancing is still a major part of Arizona, and it's a whole lot of fun. I country dance myself, and it's excellent fun. My wife and I like to go out there and do that. And so sometimes being able to dress a little Western is fun to get out there and do that. But let's start back to the basics. How does somebody get to your store if they're going on the freeway?
And thank you. That's one of our biggest complaints, is our address, and trying to find us is somewhat challenging. As I stated earlier, we're between Avondale Boulevard and Dysart, and we are between the Van Buren and the freeway. So if you could visualize that Van Buren is the first major street that runs east and west south of the freeway. If you got off on Van Buren, got off on Avondale Boulevard and went east on Van Buren for a block and a half, you'll run into El Mirage. Back towards the freeway, you'll see a huge complex. We face Van Buren. That's the biggest key. We're in Building I, Suite 108, and our building does face the freeway. Face Van Buren. So that's where it becomes a little bit complicated, because there's a lot of buildings in that complex. So just look for the building that faces the Van Buren.
Okay, great. And then, of course, for those of us who have GPS, the address again one more time.
1050 North El Mirage, Building I, Suite 108.
And the website, in case they just want to go there and remember that and then put it in their GPS.
www.strictlywestern.com.
Excellent. So now when somebody comes into the store, they see the Western wear. There's men's, there's women's. But talk a little bit about your product offering, so that people know when they come into their store what they would be coming to find.
Well, in addition to a full selection of leather boots, we also carry steel-toed and work boots. All our boots, all of them, are offered at $99 or less, actually.
Okay.
We also have discounted children's boots, and those are both Western and regular boots, Western style. We also have a large selection of shirts and blouses, and then of course we have our formal dress section that has approximately 500-600 wedding dresses to choose from, as well as about 150 formal dresses.
That's amazing. I would definitely recommend anybody going. It's worth the drive if you're in Central Phoenix. It's worth the drive to get out there for the money that you save and the selection that you have. And there's a reason why also in the formal wear, why the pageant women are going out there. There's just a lot of options, and I would suggest going out there, and you'll be treated wonderfully. And the seamstress, not only does she work hard, but she does a great job. I mean, the finished product is always what you were hoping for.
Well, for the frugal-minded in this economy, the other thing that we offer that is innovative is that if you bring your dress back and it is not damaged within 120 days, we will refund half your money.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's as good as these exchange programs. A lot better than exchange programs, because you buy a dress for $500-600, get $300 back, versus you go to one of the exchange places, they might give you $50, $60 for it. So it's I didn't even know that was an option. Good for you. So a great option there. Go take advantage of that. Tell us also, what do you think of all the things in your previous life? What is it that has lent the most, the best skills that you've had in retail? Even though your brand, when you started your business, you were brand new to it. What were some of the things that you drew on in life that extrapolated well into your new store?
Well, fortunately, I do have a background in customer service and sales, but that was in big system sales with major corporations such as GE, Siemens, etc. And I fell into the technology system long before there were desktop computers. I go back to PDP 1109s. There were huge refrigerator-sized computers in the basement. And having started so far back with computers, I can't keep up with what's going on. I have to say, social media has got me befuddled, but the customer service certainly came in handy. In order to gain business at that time, you had to offer amazing customer service, and competition was stiff. In order to cinch an account, you had to be very good to your customers, and just simply bringing that back into the retail business, it was just a natural.
I would definitely say so, and kind of add to your comment about the social media is befuddling. I think probably the biggest thing that the social media has caused is so many touch points to release. I mean, before you would call up the radio station, you would call up the newspaper. That was probably the more complicated way to try to get in and do PR. But you could at least buy an ad in the newspaper, or put an ad on television. So it was traditional media at its best. Maybe drop a mailer. That's as complicated as it got. And you had 4 or 5 options, and you could study those 4 or 5 options. With the social media, there are 4 or 5 options inside of every option, and it can get a little bit complicated. So if you just start off with the basics with YouTube, which you've had plenty of material from, for example, off of the show, to be able to, the show is being recorded and put up on YouTube. And then also your presence was recorded at the Miss Philippines Arizona pageant, and so that's good footage for people to be able to get in there and see examples of some of your dresses. And so being able to generate content utilizing the big 4 of Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter are at least a very basic and wholesome good start to get where you want to go in advertising. But when you have something in retail, literally YouTube becomes a very strong place for people to be able to take 2 or 3 minutes and kind of look at your store and what's available in it, so they can, it's the same thing as driving over and looking around and saying, hey, I'll come back later, I just wanted to see what's here. It's kind of a nice experience that you can give through the use of YouTube. So we're always always grateful for that side of the social media. And once again, we want to thank Susan Woods for coming on the show. Give us your phone number and your website one more time.
It's strictlyweston.com, and our phone number is 623-925-0911, and come on by.
Excellent. And we want to thank all of our listeners for tuning in to the Social Universe, and we look forward to speaking with you next week. And until next time, have a wonderful week.